Last game, it's set up 1-1, but we got a little bit of sub hype before we get into it. I believe this is a resub, or if not, it's just a brand new sub. Either way, welcome to or welcome back to the family Equitas. Equitas? I'm saying that name wrong. Whatever, we gotta focus on the game at hand, guys. Much love, though, for the sub. Sorry for not being able to read. This is the final game. You know, day one, the finals went to game 3 as well. We had the most epic Journey vs. Jaedong series that sets up a big precedence for the fact that this is going to be Deadwing. This map is, not used a whole lot, but when it is, we get some really sick games on it. Spawning in the bottom right corner of the map, it's going to be the red Zerg player from CM Storm. We'll see if he can join his brother Hyun in the round of 8. It is Revival.
In the top right of Deadwing, we've got our blue Protoss player showing some great macro play in last game. Let's see if he's going to go back to his more aggressive playstyle in this game. It is playing for Samsung Galaxy Stork.
Okay, yo, I'm sorry. This is like the one time I'm gonna be able to use this. Zombie, are you looking at where my camera is?
Yeah, what?
Do you ever see the movie Revival Goes West?
No. The hell is that?
What? Have you never? Fievel Goes West?
What?
It's the Jewish mouse that goes to the Old West. He meets the cat. They have adventures. Are you serious?
What the hell are you talking about?
Revival, my son. No, oh my god, I hate you so much right now.
Dude,
there's a lot of shows you don't see and I'm okay with, but this is not one of them. This is like you hating Monty Python. This is a friendship deal breaker. It's a deal breaker, ladies.
I googled it, and there isn't even a Wikipedia, so not impressed.
What? Yes, there is.
Maybe I googled it wrong. What was it?
Fievel, F-I-E-V-E-L. Revival goes. Okay, this was such a good joke wasted on you. You're the worst. Pylon Block goes down at the natural base, and
Oh, it's an American Tales movie. I never actually saw this one.
Okay.
But I know what an American Tale is. Jeez. Oh
So,
my god.
horizontal spawns are a little bit interesting on this map. I think, if I'm not mistaken, these are the ones they're talking about possibly disabling, right? Or am I thinking of...
No.
They're changing something on this map. I can't remember what it is. Is it cross spawn only?
The horizontal one, yeah, that they're disabling, right? Because it's like imbalanced for like tanks and
this little hallway thing.
Yeah, so this one is not gonna be disabled. That they're
I thought they
playing on
were... No, but aren't they making it cross only as well, I thought?
No, that was only Foxtrot, I think.
Okay, that's Foxtrot. Yeah, that makes more sense.
It was different.
Yeah.
Okay, spawning locations aside, I'm actually really stoked about the ones we have at hand. This is the one where we get some of the best games out of. This, like, vertical spawns, we've witnessed some of the most fun stuff on. And one of the big things that's really going to influence this match, Revival taking this base out here, you know, being forced to take a third early. I like that he gets this quickly because A, he's going to be able to mine it out sooner, it becomes less of a burden later on, and he's got this more secure 3rd/4th for later in the game. But it has to get to that point first. Be able to stick along the ledge, Stalkers, Colossus, we've seen it multiple times in the past. This is a map where I think like you can get to 4 bases, kind of akin to what we saw in Yeonsu back in the day, but it's not the easiest thing in the world to do.
Yeah, and the really hard part, at least for the Zerg, I feel like if you're playing like Roach Hydra style, that Revival tends, which he has showed us, the 5th base is like pretty hard to defend. If there can be proxy pylons like all over the place on the left side of the map, so kind of having units and stuff in place to defend that is just really hard. So you're gonna have to make sure to spine that up to make sure you don't lose that 5th base. But so that could be a problem if it goes that long. But yeah, just getting that 4th base though, of course, is gonna be nice for him. Oh.
So, since we're still on the topic of the soundboard and chat, apparently. For those who don't know, and I really hate this, it makes me super salty. Zombie Grub's donation noise when she gets a donation is the stupid one where I'm going like, oh no, or whatever it is. That's what she keeps referring to in chat. Just for clarity, I hate her for using it, but at least people should understand it.
It's so good, not because it's just you, but because...
Well, you were doing that the first day you said that for casting. You thought I was doing that while we were casting or whatever. And I was like, what?
Oh, yeah, I was like, what the hell?
What are you freaking out about? I'm like, I'm not. We're talking about the game. What are you talking about?
But it has like this really scary music behind it, too. So it's like, donut, and I'm like, holy shit. Anyways.
Okay, so one of the big things for Stork, I think in this series as a whole, he's been making some weird decisions. Like, one game we see him, like, he's like a god. The next game, he attacks into weird locations. Game number 1 definitely didn't go his way. And I don't know, I think if he plays this one out correctly for the macro, if he goes for the Colossus count, like, this is a game he can push Revival back in. We saw it work really well last game. I'm kind of hoping he mimics it for this game. But this is also a really tempting map to early gateway all-in on, just because of the base layout.
Wait. This is... Okay, he's probing... I was gonna say, is this like a fake third all-in? But now he's corner boosting probes. It makes... I guess he does have some excess probes, but anyway, Stork did go for like a 2-gas, super quick third base. There's a Twilight as well, so... Not gonna be anything like a fake third all-in, but yeah, he did go for like 2-gas, super quick third off of like a Sellout Stalker Mothership Core, and then added on the gases after that. And now he's finally going for the Twilight to get +2 in Blink, so... Might just be, you know, some sort of 3-base Blink play, which we have seen a lot from him, and then... You know, we'll have to see how much he commits though, if he's gonna make it an all-in, or if he's gonna just try and get map control and then tech up behind it and take a fourth. We'll see where he goes with it, but Revival at the same time is going for the Infestation Pit very quickly and a Roach Foreign, so... I wonder what we're gonna see with this, because there's no Hydra Den, so I don't... It could still be Roach, Hydra, Viper, but... Could be Swarmhost as well. I don't picture Revival as the Swarmhost player though.
I'm glad we have you on, by the way, I'm sure. Starcraft and I are being the worst casters. We're just arguing in chat right now while you're doing all the work, so thank you very much for that. But you know, this is interesting, seeing Swarmhost, specifically because, you got players like Hyun who are so averse to using Swarm. Like, they'll never touch him unless absolutely necessary, right? But we see Revival going for it right off the bat.
It's, yeah, you know, as I said, I don't picture Revival as a Swarmhost player, but I guess he has practiced it, and maybe I've just missed his Swarmhost games, so we'll see how he makes that work now.
If we're gonna be honest, I think a lot of people look at this as like a no skill, like, oh, you practice using Swarmhost, but it really does take a lot of precision using them.
Yeah, man.
I mean, like, we all look at Stefano and laugh, right? Like, easy peasy, he talks about easy wins, free wins, but that's not the case.
No, I completely agree with that. Like, I find a lot of, you know, there's definitely play styles that are, you know, a lot easier to play as Zerg than Swarmhost. Like, at least when it goes to the long game, you have to deal with a lot of harassments, and you know, you got to keep expanding. You got to stop the Protoss from expanding. It gets, you know, tricky the longer the game goes too, especially on a big map like Deadwing, where the Protoss can take like endless amounts of expansion. So it's harder than it looks. All right.
Yeah, no,
all credit to Snooze.
My sincere apologies to anyone who's watching the VOD of this and not experienced this amazing situation live. Watching Zombie Grub absolutely fall apart in chat is probably the best part of my day.
Well,
especially after that BM from last game. But yeah, Forcell's going to keep the Locust back. This was actually really great use of the terrain. This one little pillar is going to be like the most annoying thing for Revival to try and get around. But he's starting to get into that rooting position where maybe he starts sending forward. But he's got to be really careful, because if you guys have never seen, Blink Stalkers will take out Swarmhost faster than most things in the game. Now, there is Blink, and there's not a whole lot of Stalkers, but Observer full vision over this. I mean, these Swarmhosts are incredibly vulnerable where they are. I don't really like this positioning.
Yeah, they're vulnerable for sure. There could be Blink Stalkers coming in from any angle right now, and Revival wouldn't really know. He sees the units now, but they're kind of risky, especially since he had to make a lot of roaches, which are all defending this one War Prism. So I really like how quickly Stork got that War Prism to kind of keep those roaches back and just try and do some damage.
Yeah, looks like he really didn't get much for that.
Well, you know, he's keeping, again, the roaches back, and oh, the Blink Stalkers. Oh, the Blink Stalkers. Are they actually going towards the Swarmhost? Survival saw them. Oh, run!
Oh.
Or jump!
That's what I'm talking about. You just get on top of them really early. This is why you see players like Snoop go with crazy spine crawler rolls.
It wasn't actually that perfect, though.
Well, here's the thing, though, right? Like, every one...
What?
Actually, those aren't escaping now. A cage has been dropped upon them. Locusts aren't coming out, and he loses all the Swarm hosts. This is what I was talking about. Like, even if, okay, the Blink Stalkers die, sure, they pick up 4 or 5. But that severely limits the Locust counts. I mean, I think Swarmhosts get overlooked a lot of the time. People just write them off, but they're very snowbally units. You have to have a lot for them to be complementary good. I guess it did draw the attention away to pick up the Warp Prism, but that wasn't really worth losing them all.
Here's the thing for it, though, and you're usually right, but remember we're seeing all these guys that are adding Swarmhosts in as just, you know, peppering, you know, spicing up the match, and Revival doesn't actually seem to cry that much about losing those Swarmhosts. He's already maxed out on Roach Corruptor, and he took out a lot of Stalkers with those Swarmhosts.
This could be an
Yeah,
odd hold. There's no
this is
immortals
so
in this
weird.
either. These roaches should do a ton of damage. Roaches are a little
lot
bit
of
late.
Colossi.
Roaches are
That's a lot of
already on top
Colossus,
of
though.
everything.
Yeah.
Maybe
More
the
Colossi.
roaches melt before anything's done.
Link start breaking through. I don't know. The stalker count's way too low. I think. I mean, I think he'll hold off this attack.
There's
Sure,
so
but,
many Colossus,
but,
though.
but
like,
look at Revival's bank. He's gonna remax.
Yeah, with Swarmhost, it's not a decision.
Oh.
But there was just so many Colossus. I think was he kiting about 2 at a time? Yeah, he was. That like if he had 2, 3 less Colossus, Revival actually maybe takes down the third, but he was just dealing so much damage. Like those roaches should have lasted longer, but there's 6 Colossus shooting beams at them. Like things don't last very long when that happens.
Yeah, and that's such a hard place to engage into as well, because there was a photon overcharge, and like almost more than half the roaches were like kind of walking around on the ramp and kind of like hitting a pylon or hitting the nexus or trying to hit the nexus, and so it's a weird place to engage, but it's it's what he was going for. He's just going for that big attack. Didn't really work out well at all now, and now he's going into some swarm host again, and like a lot of roaches still. This is so strange. His creep spread is kind of lackluster as well.
I think one of the big detriments, one of the big benefits to Stork here is like he kept a lot of sentries alive. Keep that in mind too. So he's actually got those force fields, and they're full energy pretty much too. Stork, he's gonna have to worry about some corruptors, but that's the other good thing. He picked off a good chunk of them despite losing a majority of what he had on those front lines. But these Locust guys, these are basically 2 free, very short-range Hydralisks every round. We've seen how deadly Hydras can be. These are no exception.
This, I'm actually feeling really good for Stork. He is still down by 30 supply. Maybe not taking in a concave was the best move. He goes for the Corruptors with the Playing Stalkers. Good force fields for the Locusts.
Oh my god, it's like watching versus Terran. The focus fire is so good. He's gonna beat this back. He keeps pushing. He's got Blink to get on top of those. There's not enough here to protect. He's got to pull the Swarm Host back. If he leaves them here in the front lines, he's going to lose them.
He is waiting for the Locust to pop so they can retreat.
Yeah.
Oh my god, all the Corruptors go down.
Oh, retreat! Retreat? Oh, maybe because no Observer. He sees there's no Observer. Okay.
Okay, so
there is an Observer, though. Stork just still pulls back.
Yeah. He's got the Corruptors again, and I mean, this is kind of crazy just how easily he's dealing with the Corruptors. Normally there's a count of 20 plus, and the Stalkers don't even bother shooting them because they know it'll be irrelevant. He takes out a Ninja base behind his too. Oh, I love the way Stork's handling this game.
Yeah.
Adding on 2 more Colossi now, and plus 3 finishing as well. Like 4 Colossi with plus 3, and like almost maxed out on Stalker Colossi. Sentry is looking so good, and Revival has like no creep spread and 8 swarm hosts off creep with Roach Corruptor. And now we're getting to the point, the same point as last game, where Roaches just won't be useful anymore. Versus so many Colossi and Stalkers with plus 3, they're just gonna die very quickly, and so are the Locusts with only 8 swarm hosts.
Yeah, this is...
Ooh.
I really feel like an unpracticed swarm host strategy. It sounds weird to phrase it like that, but I think a big part of it is just we're not seeing like what. Okay, guys, if you want to see like amazing swarm hosts, like reference players like Snoot, jokingly sure, but compared to people like Stefano and stuff, Snoot's always moving those swarm hosts. You pop out the Locust, uproot, go somewhere the hell else, and you continuously do that so that they're never vulnerable. And that's been the big drawback for Revival. I mean, he's lost 12 this game. It really should be none or maybe 1.
Yeah, I also not sure if I like it on this map either. Maybe practice strategy, but not for the map. On King's Sejong Station, you can run around everywhere with the roaches. Here, it's literally one shot into all the bases of a Protoss player. Very easy for them to defend in one area.
Okay, so he snipes off a couple of Corruptors. The hallucinations did not trick them whatsoever, but enough Colossus are starting to go down here. There's only 2 remaining. It's a lot of damage, sure.
There's no ground army.
Yeah, I mean, this is what I was talking about before. There's no Spine Crawler Wall, there's no Spore Crawler Wall. These are about to go down, and so is Revival's chances. GG's gonna be called.
Protoss Hope!
Protoss Hope! Yeah, he's the one Protoss in the round of 8s! I was really... Okay. Truth bomb time, guys. I was really hoping Revival was gonna make it over Stork. Not because I hate Stork, because I love Revival, but that was... I gotta tell you, like, Stork played that really, really perfectly. I think Revival could have played that a little bit better. I don't think his strategy was necessarily bad, but like I said, I gotta tell you, it felt unpracticed looking at it.
Yeah, I feel like, I mean, it's a shame to see Rival go out. He's a really good player, but I kind of feel like that was a for sure well-deserved spot for Stork. Like, he's been playing really well. He barely lost to Hyun, and he's just been showcasing some good play. Some scrappy decisions here and there, maybe like overextending, be a bit over-aggressive. But it's always so fun to watch a player, have this aggressive play style. And he showed us now as well that he's really solid in the longer macro game as well. So I really enjoyed watching him play, and it's gonna be a treat to watch him in the playoffs. So congrats to him.
Ooh, we get to draw names now. Ooh, I'm so excited.
Yeah, this is actually gonna be a big deal.